For so many poker players, the dream's gonna have to wait.
You know, I'm gone. Look forward to next year.
Bye, guys.
I'm speechless.
I'll be back next year.
But for the lucky few, the dream is still very alive.
Those chips are mine.
It's incredible.
The way to become a World Series of Poker main event champion, day 4 must be conquered first.
Feeling great, can't wait.
Move on and hit the back stretch with that shot at $8 million.
Back in the game.
And the bracelet everyone wants.
You keep chips in front of you and anything can happen, right?
There's a lot of poker left. And there's a lot more to play for.
That time of year, the World Series of Poker main event is back.
Main event, baby. It's the main event, day 4, come on!
Just chipping up every day, so just gonna take this one all the way.
Stroll, sprint, or saunter, as long as you're prepared to stack chips, it doesn't matter. Everyone is chasing the same prize, $8 million.
Just in case it gets rowdy, I got my headgear, I'm ready to go.
2004 main event champ Greg Raymer's running deep.
No former patent lawyer has ever won this baby twice.
Yo, believe in the nub. Double-double, baby. We're going. We're going to get here.
Johnny Chan has chips late on day 4.
Johnny Chan, where's Eric Seidel? I want to see Johnny slow play that flop straight again.
The coconuts. Watch this end. Watch what I put on Facebook. The coconuts. The absolute coconuts. Gambling with the nuts, with the redraw to the monkey nuts, the river, the absolute coconuts. You can't make it up. Nuts, monkey nuts, coconuts. Nut, 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 nut.
Ryan Reese is thinking about a second title in 4 years.
This guy always looks the same. Doesn't he age like the rest of us?
Right now, they're all chasing that man, 25-year-old poker pro James Obst.
I love Australians and I hate hoodies. I've got mixed feelings about this man already.
So Obst on top of the leaderboard, joined by 2 others holding over 3,357 players are left. From an original starting field of 6,737, 5% remain from the largest main event field in 5 years.
3 women making their mark here in 2016. Melanie Weisner with over 2 million, Maria Ho, who always has chips in this event, and Gail Bowman, who finished 10th in 2012.
Our featured table is one to behold. A lot of poker talent out there.
No, I always like to remind you of the nicest thing you ever did for me, the first time we met in Barcelona for the World Cup, when you were announcing and talking like how I'm probably better than you, like heads up, when we did that team thing. And so like I was playing over you and my family couldn't believe like I was better than the main event champion at any form of poker. So.
Wow, I don't blame them. Yeah. They know you better than me.
New York poker pro Shaun Deeb getting zinged by Greg Raymer. Raymer sharing the former champ spotlight at this table with 2013 winner Ryan Reese.
Great kid, great player, great disposition, easy to root for.
Directly to Reese's right resides Raymer. Tongue twister #1 complete, Norman.
Hey, your name's a tongue twister, big fella.
3 different chips on the felt right now. Yellow, orange, green. 1K, 5K, and 25K left to right. Under the gun is a 25-year-old poker pro originally from Chicago, lives here in Vegas. Ryan Tossick with pocket queens, a raise to $35,000.
It's the main event. Needless to say, Lon, I am stoked.
If it's needless to say, you don't need to say it.
You just work your side of the street and I'll work mine.
Shaun Deeb wakes up with aces.
2 bracelets, former online wizard. Retired from poker in 2010 at age 24. That lasted 2 months or, about 3,500 big blinds.
Deeb sits with almost $1.5 million from Troy, New York, born, bred, and resides. A raise, 3 bets to $102,000.
6,737 players started, the 5th largest main event field ever.
Deeb's best main event finish is 319th in 2012. He's not far from besting that right now. Raymer now in the small blind, looks down at 7 of spades, 7 of diamonds.
If it were an 8 of spades and 8 of diamonds, he'd have to play it. That was his winning hand from 04.
Strong fold by Raymer, especially since Reese had one of his outs. So now the re-raise back to Tossick.
On his Twitter profile, Tossick says, sending Chicago and Vegas masseuses to college $2 at a time. That's why I massage myself.
Tosik's going to make the call. 246,000 in the pot. The blinds 8 and 16,000 with a 2K ante. All right, here's our flop. 9, 9, 10, and that paired board could play to Ryan's favor, maybe limiting the pot size. Tosik checks his pocket queens.
Deeb used to be a wild player, but now married and baby needs new shoes. He pretty much just plays aces or better.
Never guaranteed, though, with aces. Shaun Deeb loves the action, reaching for chips. With pocket aces, 73,000.
I'd feel a lot better about Tosik's hand if he had on a shirt with sleeves. The tank top, the beard, the hat, the earring, it's all too much on the first hand of this year's coverage.
Tosik tosses in a call, each wondering if a 9 could be in the other's playbook. Turn card is a deuce.
Lon, since the dawn of time, a deuce on the turn does not change anything, anywhere, anytime, anyhow.
Another check from Tosik.
This is a bad spot for Tosik. Yeah, that's a pretty good board for his pocket queens.
Of course, Deeb with the best of it with the pocket aces, reaching for chips. Deeb bet this time 173.
He bet 73 on the flop, now 173 on the turn. What's with 73?
He could be paying homage to Barry Bonds.
Well, then that bet should have an asterisk.
Oh, very nice. Now Tosik with the paired board, but all those undercards out there to his pocket queens.
Of course, if I had Tosik's arms, I would wear tank tops too.
Tosik makes the call, hoping D perhaps has pocket jacks, but not to be. River card now is another deuce.
If a deuce on the turn doesn't change anything, you know that a deuce on the river never changes anything, anytime, anywhere, anyhow.
3 pair for each. Tosik checks a third time.
Well, I've got to believe Deeb is going to bet 373, maybe 473.
All in.
Ooh, all in. Effectively 371, which is the amount of Tosik's stack.
Tough decision for Tosik. You hate to call off all your chips. Of course, Deeb could have missed a flush draw or a straight draw here and is muscling the shorter stack.
Oh man, I wish this wasn't televised. It looks so bad if I'm wrong.
Hey, I wish it weren't televised either, and I've looked bad and been wrong a lot, but I've made a lot of money doing it, son.
Ryan's favorite show, Game of Thrones. If he calls, he'll end up like High Sparrow from last season.
Spoiler alert.
Sorry.
Well, if Tosik gives it up, he'd still have 23 big blinds.
Yeah. But
To fold, it's a tough call.
Clock.
Well, that's a big trend at this main event. We've seen the clock called a lot. People are tired of the slow play.
I call.
Aces.
Nice hand.
Aces and goodbye, Ryan Tosik.
Nothing to do.
Like I was just praying for like a diamond.
It's the perfect
or something.
runoff.
Yeah.
Like I have all the misdraws.
Yeah, you have like ace 5, ace 3, all diamonds, spades, whatever. Good playing with you guys.
The payout right now, just over 28,000.
Yeah.
That's why I thought he might.
you got queens, you guys.
That's why I thought I might be bluffing,
with
because
10 high.
they can't call with anything. Yeah. Just had to fade the snap call, that's all.
Here we are, another...
You've had a full year to come up with your first line of the season, and that's what you start with?
Well, I had prepared, here I am, but they told me you were back.
Good for you.
Here we are, another year of the main event in front of us. Another massive payday on the horizon. Former champs like Reese, Raymer, and Chan all lurk. But it's the unknown that always intrigues us, Norman.
Let's leave the big names for the NBA and the NFL. I want Joe Nobody from the middle of nowhere, North Dakota, to run deep and hold up that bracelet in November. The main event is about the everyman or woman. What, we need Helmuth and Negreanu bursting through our screen some more? Oh, and Phil Ivey? Yeah, he was here. Played a few hands, busted. He's dead to me.
Well, perhaps your new Phil Ivey is still out there alive and kicking somewhere. Highlighted is the current payout, soon to go up. Mitch Watson's on his feet and packed up. The main event first-timers at risk, but ahead with pocket tens against the nines of Adam Reynolds.
I've already, because I need my one time no matter what happens. I haven't
And a set for the rookie.
One time, baby. Come on. What's he got? No spades, no redraw, no redraw. Be drawing dead. Just give me like a 4. Like a dirty 4. Just a dirty 4.
He's asking for a card as a 49-1 favorite.
No, he's not. You can eat it. Runner.
Harmless jack on the turn. Take a load off, son. You're still in it.
Why do we do this game to ourselves? Seriously.
That's a rookie move, asking for your one time when you're a big favorite. He'll learn.
Reynolds has to right his ship soon. Watson stays alive. He's among a group of players tasting the main event for the very first time.
I'm from Newcastle in England. I'm from Greece.
I'm from Tasmania. There are Tasmanian devils, but they don't spin around in circles.
Dr. Morris Funk from Coral Springs, Florida. I'm here with my son. It's a great bonding experience, and we made the money together.
He's been trying to basically come out for 10 years talking about it, and I convinced him to finally make the move.
I recently quit my job to come out here and play the series.
I train kids for the Math Olympiad. I was in the Romanian team for the International Math Olympiad. I got a bronze medal, so I teach math, and apparently I play this.
I'm a elementary school, primary school teacher. School holidays back home, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do because I go back to school on Monday and I didn't think I'd make it this far, so we'll see what happens.
So I worked undercover for 8 years in narcotics. You really got to sell your role because actors have a bad performance, no one claps. I have a bad performance, undercovers don't go home. I think I was lucky to make it 44 years in the police department. I think the luck is showing on the table. Living a dream.
I used to be just a poker fanboy, and now I see all these big names around. I was pretty deep with Daniel Negreanu in the 3K6 Max, and we talked a bit, and apparently he liked me, so he tweeted about me. That was pretty cool.
Give them what they want. Give the people what they want.
I got the magician on the table. It's fun taking part of him.
Hopefully we deep run this, and then can celebrate afterwards.
Everyone's goal is to win the main event, obviously.
To win, duh. 8 million, that's all. Only goal.
What would I do with all this money? Oh, that's a good question.
If I won the whole thing, I would buy a huge house for sure.
Life's too short with the way the world is these days. You got to enjoy every moment, and that's been my goal every table.
Of course it's possible. You just have to believe, and the big advice that I give to them is be always positive.
Just be patient and wait for the right hand and put your money in there.
Is it that simple?
They're really simple.
Just gotta have a perfect match.
Well, Johnny Chan has cards that match, so he shoved, but the cards of Austrian Matthias Habernig are one tick better with Chan at risk.
Habernig, a 25-year-old law student. I hate seeing Johnny get his chips in bad. It destroys the mystique.
Here is the flop. All clubs.
Wow. That's a good flop.
Johnny with a flush draw.
Chan, the 1987 and 88 main event champion.
Turn card now. A black ace, but the spade.
I take any 6.
Chan would take any 7 or any club.
Johnny at risk. Here's the river card. It is a club, and Chan scores the flush.
Well, if they're gonna suck out on you, it might as well be Johnny Chan.
Hey, that hurts, eh? It's not as bad as Jack Free suited.
Habernig still with $1,006,000. Johnny Chan doubles up to $671,000.
9 million.
He's going to stick around. Johnny Chan and the World Series of Poker, a perfect match. Once again, the Rio All Suite Hotel and Casino, the center of the poker universe. The World Series of Poker main event working its way towards day 5.
$8 million to the winner. Everyone who makes the November 9 final table guaranteed $1 million.
I'm not always good with hands, but I think that is Todd Brunson.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of a young Doyle Brunson, but with a beard.
You want to talk beards? How about Austin, Texas poker pro Alex Keating?
Where did this guy come from? I believe he has a beard inside of a beard.
2 beards in waiting. Patrick Gotke all in with Jack 10 suited. Griffin Benger with pocket 10s.
Your favorite, my I'm a favorite.
Here's the flop. 1 club, but little else for Gotke.
Well, Gotke wasn't a favorite, and he still isn't a favorite.
9 of clubs for the cameras.
Done!
Wow, Gotke now with a slot machine of outs.
He's got an open-ended straight flush draw. The tray of hearts, Benger and his 2 pair will win the pot and send Gotke on his way.
You want to call that your club for the cameras? I knew the 9 was coming, that's why I called.
College of Sports Media. Please.
The London native Gotke reaps the benefit of the increased payout. His 10th World Series cash. Griffin Binger from Toronto now works with 83 big blinds.
You know, they don't start playing every day here until noon. Would it kill these guys to wake up 5 minutes earlier and shave?
A look at James Obst at the featured table. He's our chip leader here on day 4. This Aussie's poker success has come in spite of some health difficulties.
I used to be pretty healthy and energetic as a kid, and then I sort of changed from some more active sports, and I became a chess player and then a poker player, and I spent a lot of time in front of my computer being sedentary, and that caused me a few sort of health issues, and it's been, yeah, quite a long journey to figure out exactly the result of being around a computer so much of your life, and that's really important to me now, is to get back to feeling great.
Well, he plays great at all the games. He has World Series final tables in Hold'em, Stud, Deuce to 7, Triple Draw, Low Ball, Horse, and Dealer's Choice.
25-year-old from Adelaide, Australia, with $750,000 in World Series of Poker earnings. He is under the gun here at our featured table. Obst looks down at pocket jacks.
Good luck, son.
Indeed. Obst sits with over $3.2 million. He's going to raise it up to $36,000. Blinds at 8 and 16,000. Mark Mitchell now king 9 of clubs.
I believe Mitchell is a Dodgers fan. Not positive, just saying.
They can see that from across the room. Tom Thomas owns a car wash in Brooklyn. Now Raymer.
I mean, he was correct. I mean,
nothing to play there. The other former main event champ at this table, Ryan Reese, gives it up. Valentine Vorticu at his first main event, but he's got 8 World Series circuit rings.
Yeah, that is second all-time, one behind fellow Romanian-born pro Alex Mashik.
Mashik beat Vorticu heads up at one of those circuit events. A call from Vorticu to Shaun Deeb in the big blind. Ace-8 of spades.
I guarantee you in middle school, Shaun Deeb sat in the back of the class in biology and threw spitballs.
He calls for 20,000 more. Pocket jacks against ace-8 and ace-8 suited. Here's the flop. Top pair for Deeb and Vorticu. Obst with a gut shot. Deeb checks. Obst will check. Vorticu now with his top pair. And you look at the percentages, those are percentages to win the hand outright. 40,000 from Valentine. Deeb now hit 1 spade on that flop.
Deeb trying to overcome the pale green shirt to make his deepest main event run ever.
And with his top pair, he commits 40,000. And now Obst with the pocket jacks.
Obst thinking back to his pre-pocket jacks Australian youth, when it was all so carefree. Easy hand for him to get away from.
He's not reaching for his cards. Obst, boom, a raise to 150.
Whoa, he's trying to bring the Lon McCarron Memorial hand back from the dead. Who does he think he is, Miracle Max?
Obviously, all the shows have not reached Australia yet.
Well, suddenly a pair of aces with a weak kicker doesn't look so good.
Vorticu folds.
Gives you the easiest life in the world when he's the third best hand.
The weak ace syndrome strikes 2.
So frustrating. These amateurs, that's why he's a circuit player, not a regular main player.
James Obst steals the pot with pocket jacks and adds to his main event chip lead. Welcome back to day 4 of the World Series of Poker main event. Coming up on 300 players remaining, everyone in the money, everyone holding out hope for the $8 million up top. 34-year-old poker pro Adam Fredman is squirming. He raised to $187,000 with top pair, top kicker. But Brian Petroli raised Freeman all in.
2 bracelet winners tangling here.
Seems every time we see Adam, he's in the middle of a tough decision. You might remember this one from 11 years ago.
God, you hate to be in Adam Friedman's shoes right now. He has second nut flush, as you mentioned, and only 1 hand beats him.
I call.
Bartholomew turns over the nut flush.
Wow.
That's what I'm talking about!
Wow, what a blow to Adam Fredman.
You can make one bad mistake.
Horrible play.
King, did you?
It wasn't a horrible play. I would have done the same thing. Well, maybe it was a horrible play then.
If anybody does call the clock, I won't be offended.
Clock. Well, at least he's not offended.
Floor clock requested. Obviously, you.
I'll call the clock. Here comes the floor. Everyone knows the drill. You got a minute or your hand is dead, Adam.
We have a 50-second clock.
Tough to lay this one down, but it is for all his chips. Fredman with top pair, top kicker, a dry board, no draws out there. Of course, if he's up against a set or an overpair, he's crushed.
The 50-second clock is expired. You're now on a 10-second countdown. If you haven't acted by the time I hit 0, your hand will be dead. 4.
Show me 5-4.
Terrific laydown.
1.
Show it. Should show it. Oh, I might tilt the rest off.
Pacholi didn't earn a bracelet in 24 World Series cashes by showing.
By the way, 2 redheads there side by side, Adam Fredman, and to his right, John Turner.
All right, let's take a quick trip around the Amazon room. Jen Shahade with over 1.3 million chips.
Another redhead. By the way, I've put together my redhead dream team here. Adam Fredman, John Turner, Jen Shahade, and Melanie Weisner.
Francis, Gail Bowman recently became a mom. She has just over 1 million chips.
She's not a redhead, so she's not on my team, but the near November Niner is playing well.
Maria Ho trying to create her own reality show as a main event champion, up over 1.4 mil.
Boy, she always has chips.
She does indeed, but the woman with the most chips in the room is Melanie Weisner. She has a good handle on what to expect at this stage of the tournament.
So day 4 is kind of just like a mass exodus of all the people that were like just barely making the money, and now they feel like, well, time to gamble and run up a stack or go home. True for amateurs and professionals alike. And then I think once that exodus kind of calms down, then the real deep meat of the tournament settles in, and it's big money and it's big decisions and people take their time and the drama's high and tension's high and all that.
Weisner has a music degree from NYU, which naturally led to poker.
The 29-year-old Los Angeles resident plays mostly cash games, but she says she has to play the main event. With pocket 9, she called the small pre-flop raise from 22-year-old Frenchman Maxim Shilo, holding ace tray of diamonds. Shilo with bottom pair, but still behind the 9s. No diamonds out there. Shilo with bottom pair bets 40,000.
He will rue the day he made that bet. Rue it!
With the overpair, a call from Weisner only.
40,000.
Weisner, the big chip stack here, over 2 million. Shilo with over 1 million, 8 of hearts, no help to Shilo.
4 undercards to pocket 9s? Let's just declare Melanie Weisner the winner of this year's main event and save ourselves a lot of time, bad beats, and commentary from Antonio Esfandiari.
Weisner improved to an open-ended straight draw. Shilo cashed in the main event last year. He checks.
Well, it was his option to check, and I believe Melanie will utilize her option to wager. This ain't my first rodeo.
Weisner with almost $750,000 in poker earnings prior to this main event. 3 greens, 75,000.
His option now is to fold, call, check raise, or iron his shirt.
He options to fold and drops below the 1 million chip line.
Melanie Weisner got into poker coaching accidentally? Huh. I got into poker broadcasting accidentally.
And the rest of us have been paying for that accident for a long time.
Alon, can I see you outside at the next break?
As the field shrinks, the tension mounts at an outer table where big stack Brit Kassouf in the black jacket has been thinking for several minutes after 2 players moved all in on him. Giants fan Brian Vu for $352,000, and on screen right here, Mike Kassouf for $194,000.
Clock on 4:35. Big decision, so all in.
And a clock has been called on Kassouf.
A big hand there, I'm not wasting time. Yeah, no.
Kassouf has a massive stack. A call here is for less than 15% of his chips. You know, eventually there will be a clock at every table, and if it were up to me, also a soda tap with Orange Crush.
You get your chance, Darren.
Clock 4:35.
What's it?
Clock.
On which player?
4.
Has it had a significant amount of time? Not been that long.
About 4.5 minutes.
All right, so you have 50 seconds after that. I'll count down from 10. Are you sure you have it?
Kassouf says it hasn't been that long. The dealer says it's been 4.5 minutes. You can run a mile in 4.5 minutes, so that's a long time.
You're up against queens and ace queen, queens and ace jack.
He correctly senses he's up against two big hands. I don't get the re-peek. He must know he has ace king. It's impossible to forget.
Just don't want to see aces or kings. That's it.
Kassouf, a former Great Britain lawyer, now a poker pro.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
There is the call. Let's see him, boys.
Kashan's queen's in decent shape for the triple up.
Absolutely up against two ace kings.
I think one's got queens, the other one's got ace jack.
Vu and Kashan at risk.
Kashan, a 2014 bracelet winner.
Vu, a 43-year-old physician from the San Francisco Bay Area.
Any aces about?
No aces for you. 5, 9, 7. 10 of clubs. Vu with the nut flush draw.
Red card. Right, the 8 of hearts on the river. Once or twice? Once? Once, okay. 8 of hearts, please, Bailey. Cheers, mate.
Anyway.
I'm not what that is, no, he deserved the pot. Just 8 of hearts on the river. Can't make it up.
The river card.
And hop.
Is a club, and Vu scores the winning flush. Mike Kashan eliminated.
Wow.
Good luck, guys.
300.
Right, take it easy.
Vu more than doubles up.
Hey, man.
Hey, good luck.
I certainly hope Kassouf doesn't take a picture after every pot. That would be annoying.
Just a small hit to his big stack.
Nearly folded as well. So sick. I nearly folded. All right.
Vu now with over 900,000 chips.
You get somebody to take me to cake.
Lucky clubs, eh? Lucky clubs.
Yeah, I was lucky.
I was only worried about you having ace or king. That's why I didn't want to call it.
Yeah, no,
I'm thinking about folding.
I was impressed. I was like, he's giving me credit for kings.
I know I need to hit. I'm thinking you could have ace or kings.
Oh, yeah.
I know he's jamming. He's jamming with jacks or queens.
You were pretty much putting me on, 4 hands. Right?
Yeah. Well, you could have the top 2 hands, but I've got ace king, so. A lot of people snap cool with that. I don't. It's fine. I know I need to hit. I know I'm behind, so at least one of it.
The best poker content on the internet.
Your super high roller bowl 7 champion.
Oh yeah!
Wheels are coming off. That's the craziest hand I've ever seen. What was that bite?
Go to get.pokergo.com/YT24 for $20 off a new annual subscription.
A bit of a different setup for us this year with 3 feature tables so close to each other. At the main feature table, Greg Raymer, one of the star attractions. Kara Scott spoke to him during the break.
Greg, you've already outlasted more than twice the number of players that you beat in 2004 to take this title. So how has this event changed in the last 12 years?
I hadn't thought of it that way. I mean, obviously it's bigger, which always makes it harder to win. But most importantly, I think the skill level is so much higher than it was in 04. I mean, back then, when I played tournaments anywhere, it was not necessarily that hard to get a big stack early. And now it's tough. It's a challenge. They fight you all the way. Just the better players, the best players are even better. And maybe more importantly, those players, the recreational players, the ones who are the least skillful, the least experienced, they're so much better than their counterparts 12 years ago. So it's tough.
Action on our tournament chip leader, James Obst, at this featured table from the hijack with King 10. He says his health problems are under control. What a relief that must be. A raise to 33,000.
I've got to be honest, I have Dodgers underwear, and the insignia is also that big.
Mitzel folds. Thomas gets rid of his button. Small blind, Greg Raymer. King 9. His first main event cash since his strong back-to-back performances in 04 and 05. He raises all in with 340,000 left.
Raymer down to 21 big blinds.
And if he knew what Obst raised with.
2 hands for you today.
And Obst folds. If he knew what Raymer shoved with.
Well, the big stack with a courtesy fold to the champ. It was for less than 10% of Obst's stack, but King 10 off, not too sexy of a hand.
Greg still dancing in the danger zone with 25 big blinds. Fewer than 300 now playing in the main event at an outer table. 2 players in need of a boost. Amateur Boris Bershadsky's center screen with pocket kings. It was an easy call for him when shorter stacked bracelet winner Dietrich Fast shoved with pocket 5s for 284,000. Here's our flop. Fast with a set.
Not again.
Bershadsky, 38-year-old IT consultant. in anguish.
He's got only 2 outs.
Did it to me again.
Sounds like me at family court.
Third card now. 9 of spades, no help to Bershadsky.
King of hearts.
Card calling at an all-time high. It's reaching epidemic status.
6 of spades, fast will double up.
Same thing happened to the other table, just worse.
You know, it's obviously tough to recover from losing most of your chips, but it's also tough emotionally to recover from.
Wow. That'll leave a mark on Bershadsky, who came to the U.S. from Ukraine when he was 14. At our featured table, a double bracelet winner and 2 main event champs.
He doesn't want the fossils as bad as you do, Shaun.
I had no idea you were so health conscious.
Like
finally, someone needling me back.
It's like if you knew the cards, like how big of a disadvantage would you call an all-in for me with just to get the fossil? Like how much money equity is that worth to you?
Guaranteed TV time as well.
Guaranteed TV time.
Is it signed on the bottom?
That might mean
I can't sign it until I know who gets it.
Oh, you sign it. Oh, you do like Barry. Do you sign it to them?
I sign it. Well, I'm hoping to keep this one and sign it to me and put it on the trophy
we know that isn't going to happen.
Well,
you're too old and too bad at poker these days.
Well.
Deeb is a Hall of Fame needler.
This is a rough featured table.
He's like
here.
leaving me no room except to like, let's take this outside. Like there's nowhere else left to go.
Outside is really hot.
Obst open with a raise. Thomas called. Raymer now on the button.
Thing is, I don't, you
don't have
any fighting training, so it's not like I'm sure I'm going to win or something.
Reese folds now to Rajan Chabra in the big blind. King, queen of diamonds.
Another lawyer. Doesn't anyone actually practice law anymore?
That's a good looking hand. One of my favorites to peek down at.
I'm all in.
And he says all in. That's $385,000 to the chip leader, Obst, with ace-10.
Well, in the previous hand of this, we just saw Obst lay down king 10 to Raymer's similar all-in, and this time there's a third person in the pot, Thomas, who's a pretty tight amateur.
Not counting limit tournaments.
Obst has everyone in the room covered.
Oh, man.
But folds.
Pain. Why did I fold?
And Thomas folds.
Because he has you beat.
Oh,
Do you see how mad he was that you folded? This is where you use live pro skills.
Poker has changed a lot since Raymer won 12 years ago, but the basic tenet remains the same. Aggression is a winning strategy.
This attorney practices in Mississippi.
Just because he wears a Jason Somerville hoodie, you think he plays like Jason Somerville?
Nothing like Jason Somerville, for sure.
Back to our hard luck friend Boris Bershadsky, all in with ace-jack off, racing the pocket queens of Canadian pro Michael Novinsky.
I'm going to stand up with you.
Let's do it.
Let's do it together.
I love this gesture. Props to Novinsky.
No, I'm doing it in support of him, okay?
Thank you.
As long as the spirit's there.
Canadians are so polite. Here's the flop, an ace for Bershadsky.
Yes! I barely survived.
All right.
Thank you for being here.
That won't do anything.
No danger there for Boris.
Okay, there's the 10. Wallets, but you're
Deal done. There's the double.
Thank you very much for the donation.
Little does Bershadsky know, he'll be gone by dinner.
How much is it? 120?
It's a donation.
Flop an ace. Harmless run out.
No, what I'm saying, 100K
double
donation. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
The main event summed up in 2 hands. The agony of the bad beat, the joy of the double up, the niceness of our friends north of the border. 6,737 players put up 10 grand each to play in the main event. We have fewer than 300 now.
Our buddy Antonio Esfandiari finished 449th. I knew he'd make the top 500.
Shaun Deeb's life has mostly changed for the good lately, but one change left a big void.
I was very lucky growing up on Deep Drive. My grandmother lived 100 feet away from it. So my whole life, I went over her house for breakfast. She always babysat us. We always spent time. She's the first person to teach me any form of card game.
Check.
Poker was always the thing we bonded about. So on my 18th birthday, she took me to my first casino. She loved the idea of professional poker player because that's what she thought she was.
I'm raising.
She was 80 years old at the time, and she was playing cards 5-6 nights a week for 12 hours a day.
I'm old.
She was a big part of my success, a big part of my motivation. Unfortunately, her health started deteriorating earlier this year. was able to move back home a few years ago, and she got to be around my new son, who's a little over 2, and she was around my wife, who was pregnant as well. So it was great experiencing so much time with her. I try to stop by with my son, and then she lit up every single day, and that's the joy in life. It's the best thing ever being a dad. It's a whole new focus of life, whole new motivation. You think you enjoy poker success, wait till you enjoy the success of being a parent. You know, it's really sad to see one of the last few of that generation pass. She just had all the qualities that you value in life. She was generous, she was caring, she was loved by all, and you know, everyone wanted to adopt her as a grandmother, and that's just a test to her character. It was just great to be a part of that.
Shaun bought his grandmother into the main event in 2011 and 2012. Ellen Deeb passed away in April at age 96.
We'll keep it here for the next hand. This is one tough table.
Jack Queen, bro. Man, take it easy from the small blind.
I know, right? It's my first time. I got beginner's luck with me. No bracelets.
You can only hope it's not your last. We need more fish in this tournament.
I know, right? Depends if I win the Satty. Again.
Just deposit 10K in your Rio account. Don't touch it. That way you have your buying guaranteed. Or just like, don't collect your payout this year. Wait till next year. You'll be safe.
Raymer, ace-queen suited, just over the minimum to 33,000.
Raymer won the main event in 04, a field of 2576. Then in 05, remarkably, he finished 25th against a field of 5,619. But as you mentioned, Lon, this is his first cash in the main event since then.
Does anybody want to toy with Raymer? Vorniku folds, small blind, Dean Blatt gets out of the way, and the big blind is Shaun Deeb, king 5 suited. Yeah, he wants to play with Greg.
Well, Raymer here with a min raise plus a 1,000 chip handling fee that Deeb pays.
Deeb has Raymer easily covered. King 6, 7, 2 clubs. Deeb with top pair. Raymer with a nut flush draw. Deeb checks top pair. Raymer with 35,000.
Deeb outflopped Raymer, but he's out of position. It's all about position, Lon. And when you think about it, life is all about position. In line at the store, in traffic, and at the poker table.
Just over 1/3 of the pot, and Deeb does call. Turn card now, no flush, but Raymer turns top pair. He's a 10-1 favorite now.
Deeb and Raymer were teammates at the World Cup of Poker in 2007, won by Team USA.
Shaun Deeb check top pair, and he checks again now with that ace out there.
Well, Raymer with the best hand and the best draw, but he slow plays it.
River card now. And there's the club. Raymer improves to the nut flush.
Shaun Deeb can't like the looks of that board.
Deeb with a measly pair of kings. Good reason to check again.
Raymer with the nuts. If he checked the turn, hoping to get paid on the river, the flush getting there actually hurts his cause.
Raymer will bet an amount he thinks Deeb would call. 70,000, almost half the pot.
Deeb, an old school internet kid, used to play 15 or 20 tables online simultaneously, even played 35 tables at the same time once. Now he plays high stakes cash mixed games here in Las Vegas.
Single 2 worst cards in the deck, roll off back to back. It's reasonable.
Indeed, the ace might have beaten him, and it did. And then the club might have beaten him, and it did.
Don't worry, you don't have to look at me. I'm not raising you. It's either call or fold.
Like, can we laugh now?
Such stupid turn.
Can we do beer level at this?
I'll beer level it, yeah.
All right.
Get some beers.
Just making sure. I don't know what the policy is.
I'm all for a good time at a poker table.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. I like that.
Just not the same without the Fossilman glasses.
Okay. I guess I'll let you bluff me.
No bluff.
Raymer stacking chips, and at this point, any chips coming his way are very helpful.
I got like pocket aces and clubs and the straight. I mean, I can't show a bluff.
I have a set and a straight. I don't know which one.
I don't know about you guys. I'm playing PLO.
Welcome back to Las Vegas. Greg Raymer was the last world champ to win a main event held start to finish at Binion's. Greg's still in it here this year at the Rio. Big doings at one of the outer tables. Maxim Soken in the white hat woke up with aces. This was after Robert Elaine 3-bet with his last 11 big blinds. Elaine holding ace-8. Then Christopher Frank 4-bet with pocket kings.
Frank, a German pro who turned 22 today. Soken, a 36-year-old Russian financial director.
Soken announces a 5-bet to 930,000 with aces.
Well, Soken originally had just called Elaine's all-in. Now he springs his trap after Frank re-raises.
Now Christopher Frank with pocket kings pre-flop.
Well, I guess Frank's thinking twice now, but it's almost impossible to muck pocket kings.
Kind of jumped in the middle of the sun.
Yeah, the Massachusetts amateur can't feel great about ace-8. Christopher Frank.
This suckouts.
Folds kings face up.
Did he just lay down kings?
What a laydown it was.
I need 8s. That's going to be on TV,
If I ever get dealt pocket kings, it would take multiple court orders to get me to let him down pre-flop.
Or diamonds.
A laydown for the ages from young Christopher Frank. So now Robert Elaine, ace-8 off, will seek the miracle survival double-up.
I've seen a full.
All right, here is our flop. Step 1 accomplished. There's an 8 for Elaine.
This would definitely make TV now.
Turn card, and Elaine tees with a 10 on the turn. It's only an 8 in sheep's clothing, though.
My one time right here.
Oh, you've got to ask for it sooner.
Nope, there's the knockout. Robert Elaine gone from the main event.
And frankly, that's a bad beat for Soken. He should have gotten more chips from the pocket kings.
He did add over 800,000 chips to his bank, approaching 3 million. Elaine finishes 291st, his first World Series cash worth more than 32 grand.
Best laydown, worst hat. We'll call it a wash.
Ryan Reese made a laydown of pocket kings pre-flop en route to winning the main event 3 years ago. He's here at this featured table.
I'm an old school wimp.
Old school.
You know, main event like
those fish, they just don't fold.
You
so
couldn't 4-bet without aces in this tournament when I started playing it.
Yeah, you know what? I haven't been here for 4 days, paid $10,000 to fold. I mean, this. Right? Isn't that the line of thinking? Isn't that the line of
Says Queen Jack off in a small blind.
Hey, Fossil Man, give me the Jack 9 suited. I'll play them from here to the November 9. Loosen the collar, play some poker.
Chabra folds.
Can you not muck so high? Just try to be low, thank you.
Valentine Bornaku. Oh, he's wishing he could 4-bet here.
It's like one of the stupid trends in poker, people like helicoptering, and there's some sharp eyes out there who could definitely see cards.
Aces are raised to 35,000.
Helicoptering the cards, frankly, is not one of the worst trends in poker right now.
Deeb folds to the big blind. James Obst, tournament chip leader, king 7 off.
I've played with Obst a couple of times here at the World Series. I don't believe I've ever taken any of his chips.
I don't believe you've taken anybody's chips.
When's your contract up, Lon?
Obst makes the call, heads up 2 of the big stacks at this table. There's a king for Obst, but it's not enough. He checks.
Vornicu with an algebra degree from the University of Bucharest. I believe they are the Blue Hens.
And with the pocket aces, the vegan Romanian, who was not Daniel Negreanu.
Well, with top pair, Obst isn't going anywhere.
But he's not overplaying the kings either. Turn card now. Another diamond helps Vornicu. He's got the nut flush draw. Obst checks again.
Vornicu, a math teacher in San Diego. He won a bronze medal representing Romania in the International Math Olympiad. He fell off the balance beam, and that cost him gold.
85,000.
Obst probably hoping Vornicu is bluffing, but as a general rule, Romanians don't bluff Australians on neutral turf. That's pretty common knowledge.
Who doesn't know that?
Okay.
Obst with the lean, with the reach, with the call. 346,000 in the middle. Another 10 is not a welcome sight to either player. Obst checks again.
Well, Vornicu wasn't worried about the diamond flush when Obst checked the turn. So if his hand was good then, it's likely still good here. I would value bet it, then probably fold after I got check raised. That's Norman Chad Poker.
Vornicke with aces up.
Yeah.
Paired board, 3 diamonds out there.
I think you calling one more, you might have sucked out, so.
I have a king. Is that a suck out?
No.
Nope. Aces up will take it for Vornicke.
I'm not going to call another one.
Vornicke takes some off the chip leader.
Well, Vornicke gave up some value there on the river. Obst probably does call him.
Vornicke now with 1.4 million for James Obst. The small hit. He remains the biggest stack in the game.
Did they get in trouble? Or did they like this first?
I finally got aces. All I had to do was ask for them, right? Just as we were talking about no folding.
Aces hold up again. Maybe the bad beats are waiting for day 5. Back at the 2016 main event, let's get to an outer table. 34-year-old Will Kassouf with a tough decision, or is it? He opened raised with 8-6 of diamonds on the right. Dakota Bernett shoved with ace-jack of clubs. Then Gail Bowman wanted to waste chips by calling with pocket jacks. Now Kassouf seemingly with a tortured decision.
Okay, there's been a 3-bet shove that's been called, and now Kassouf has 8-6. What are we waiting on? This is what's bad for poker. People tanking when they're folding 100%, maybe 105% of the time.
Well, at least he's consistent. When he's got a real hand and a tough decision, he takes a lot of time. Maybe he's balancing his delay ranges. And the clock ticks.
Well, then again, he's a lawyer. Maybe he bills by the hour at the table.
He finally folds, so Dakota Bernett at risk with ace-jack suited, trying to double through Gail Bowman's jacks, which have no chance of winning.
You're flat in there with ace or kings. I knew you had a big hand.
You know, if he figured she had aces or kings, what was he waiting on?
I knew you had a pair. Well, you flat call with ace or kings.
Yeah, those percentages are probably wrong, Lon. I got to agree with you. No chance of winning.
Here's the flop. Say no more, say no more.
Well, bad news for Bowman, but the good news is we still could be waiting for Kassouf to fold.
4 of diamonds. Bowman needs the last jack in the deck. It's a tray of spades. Dakota Bernett scores the double up, but can't let down. 31 bigs don't last long around here. Dakota Bernett with 621,000. Guess what? Kassouf's 8-6, Norman? No chance. All right, Kassouf still top dog at that table. Let's go back to the feature table where top pros, past world champs, and amateurs all sit together. I love the main event.
You know, it's exciting. I have a day job, so I don't...
What's your day job?
I'm here for fun. I'm a lawyer.
Lawyer?
Yeah.
Where do you practice?
Mississippi.
So you probably were bluffing that hand.
Good. I'm giving away too much information.
Norman Chad's going to give you some about that as well.
Yeah, Norman's been a lot of lawyer talk. You're definitely going to get some focus.
I got Norman on my Snapchat. I'm really happy today.
I do not do divorce work, Norm. I do not. I can't help you there, buddy. Sorry.
He's not going to be
It's
very
okay,
happy.
he doesn't have money, so when he gets a divorce, they don't really go after anything.
Yeah.
They're just happy to get away.
Deep firing in all directions. Put a sock in it, buddy. You're talking about my guy.
What kind of law?
I do anything injury related. A lot of workers' comp. Anything injury related.
Deep raises from the cutoff.
About the only kind of lawyer that would probably be here.
I was a lawyer.
One that take. Well, were you a tax lawyer?
Patent attorney.
Patent.
By the way, pull the Shaun Deeb file for me, Lon. The gloves are off now.
That's a whole nother.
Obst.
There's the science.
Looks like he wants to put chips in with 6-4. He should get a card from Chopper. You can get hurt 3-betting with 6-4.
Look at that. Obst figuring Deeb is opening light, so he's playing on the button, big stack, bully poker with 6-4.
So that's the thing. I just felt game flow. I shouldn't open this hand, even though it's like such an open. I just felt that you were just like, Shaun's playing too many hands.
That's it. At E2 in that spot, I'm just going to go for you.
I really felt it.
I didn't even see James look.
I just like, as I was opening, I was like, I'm just burning money, but I have to do this because this hand is just too good in this spot. But I can't do anything.
As the dealer gets ready for the next hand here at the feature table, we get a look at the tournament summary. An impressive turnout this year, 6,737, representing 82 different countries.
The U.S. represents 74% of the field. California alone with 869 entries, more than twice as many as any other nation in the world. Canada next with 381.
Yeah, but that just means you're going to
Shaun Deeb with King 9 again.
King 9 again. I think he can't help himself.
And a raise to 34,000 again. Obst with Queen 10.
Well, will Obst 3-bet it again with an inferior hand?
You don't want to push your luck, especially against guys talented as Shaun Deeb. Obst reaching for chips, though, but that's just a call.
Well, he plays it differently this time. That's the mark of a player who didn't graduate from the Norman Chad School of Poker.
Mitzel, president of the Builders Concrete in Fresno, playing like a rock. Small blind Tom Thomas.
He owns a car wash and an oil change shop in Brooklyn. 58-year-old amateur. Bump it up. Bump it up.
He's the one playing like a rock, just a call.
I don't like that. You want to play out of position against these two cat burglars?
Right, yeah.
Raise it and take it.
Raymer with 9 tray. And he will sit this one out.
That was your any two, Jay.
So as you mentioned, 2 pros against the amateur who's got the best hand. Nobody has an ace. Obst caught middle pair, but Thomas has the best hand. He's got to check it.
I don't like that check. 1, don't assume they have an ace. 2, if you bet, they might assume you have an ace.
Deeb with king high. Bets 56,000 now to Obst.
Well, naturally, the worst hand right now bets the flop. And now the second worst hand probably will raise, and the best hand will fold.
Obst. Got green, he's got orange. That is a raise to 140,000, and there goes the best hand.
Okay, first you get swaggle-foosed by Deeb, then you get scallywagged by Obst, and they both have squadouche. Okay, middle pair isn't squadouche, but they're just a couple of horn-swaggling, shimmy-shamming bunco artists.
Welcome to professional poker.
Now, if Shaun Deeb didn't have a family to feed, he would re-raise it here.
Just run me over. The exact same hand that you 3-bet me. Like, the open and the cutoff.
Fear that man.
Obst adds to his stack, returning to his winning ways, disposing of anything Shaun Deeb brings his way. Making day 5 is the #1 priority, but perhaps not for Will Kassouf, who keeps a running commentary of the action.
I don't have ace, I don't have straight. I promise. If you have king high, it's a great call. Good luck to you. I don't think you're going to call. Don't waste time. Maybe I'm bluffing with the best hand.
Don't waste time. Kassouf enticing the river call, and Will's got the best of it.
Then what the coco?
How much? 105?
105. Thank you.
He could be Jamie Gold 2.0. A lot of pep in his verbal step.
He does have one of the big stacks in the room. Back to the feature table. 2013 world champ Ryan Reese has struggled. Started the day with about 150,000 below average.
Yeah, nothing much going on for Ryan Reese today.
Mitzel, former motorcycle racer until a hip replacement forced a change in his style of competition, raised. Reese with 10-9 will call from the big blind.
That's just a misdeal because there's been no action.
All right, here's the flop. And it is a 9, another 9 with a 10. 9's full for Ryan Reese. Gut shot from Mitzel after Reese checked.
And Mitzel likely to continuation bet here. It's in the manual.
40,000.
And that's the look of a ex-world champ who flops a full house. The 2013 main event winner, still just 26 years old. He's a tall fellow, so you might be surprised that he prefers to play small ball like Daniel Negreanu. Of course, here he's just slow playing his monster.
Reese and Mitzel tied for the short stack at this table, 316,000 each to begin the hand, and just a tortured-looking call from Reese. Turn card ace, and that will not entice Mitzel to commit more chips. Another check from Reese.
Reese hoping that ace hit Mitzel. The 58-year-old amateur also cashed at the 2014 main event, 497th place.
Checks from both, but for different reasons. 4 of diamonds is a non-starter.
Now Reese can wait no longer, but he's unlikely to get another chip out of Mitzel.
Reese hoping his opponent has something to call this forthcoming bet. He makes it 100,000.
Well, I guess Mitzel could think king high might be good here, that Reese missed a straight draw. Plus, who doesn't like to pick off a bluff from a world champ?
As Raymer found out, Reese is learning, once a world champ, always a world champ with a target on your back. Mitzel does give it up, and Ryan picks up a few chips from the amateur. Still waiting for Reese the Beast to awaken, though. With that pot, Ryan Reese over 20 big blinds, but still a long way to go to become a factor in this year's main event. Ryan Reese representing the former champs very well. Huck Seed did not cash this year.
Target final table, yeah, you know, it's okay. Well, you can wait.
Chris Moneymaker, a great ambassador for the game, but he missed the money.
He was a one-hit wonder.
2014 champ Martin Jacobson failed to crack the top 1,000 this year.
I don't even think that is Martin Jacobson.
Bill Hellmuth deserved better, but he missed the money as well.
I feel like I deserve it.
The poker brat always deserves better.
Greg Merson, without a baseball cap, did not make the money. The Orioles need you, Greg.
I need his hair.
Last year's champ Joe McKeon failed to make the money.
That's a shame.
Joe Catta came up empty in the main, but had 6 other cashes. Chris Ferguson went away without stopping at the payout window.
Chris Ferguson? I thought he retired to the Full Tilt convalescent home in the Cayman Islands.
Tom McAvoy cashed for almost 19 grand. As the stockbrokers say, past performance is not an indication of future success. This main event keeps getting tougher every year. Of course, there's the last man to win back-to-back main events. Johnny Chan still has chips this year inside the Rio. And 2 other main event champs, Greg Raymer and Ryan Reese, sitting elbow to elbow. The blinds at 10 and 20,000 with a 3K ante. Tom Thomas raised it up with king-queen off to 45,000. Obst, our chip leader, with pocket tens.
He represented Australia at 3 World Junior Chess Championships. Oh, he stuck the landing with that 25K chip.
Heads up against the amateur Tom Thomas. Here is the flop. 9-6 trade, 2 spades. Thomas whiffed that flop. Obst checked his tens. Thomas with 2 face cards, overcards to the board, bet 60,000.
See, I've learned from the Mike Caros and Zachary Elwoods of the world that when you cover your face after you bet, you're trying to hide. You're trying to hide because you have nothing.
Obst has 2 overs to the board as well, but they are matchy-matchy.
That's the best type of 2 overs.
He calls.
Obst says, no problem. I'm probably ahead.
Turn card now, another 6. 10's up for Obst, still leads. And James now reaching, he's going to be the aggressor out of position. 75,000 is the bet.
Obst leads out this time as if to say, I know I'm ahead.
Thomas picked up poker when he frequented an Italian club in New York. And wow, he's going to play back. A raise to 200,000.
Interesting here. Obst gets raised by a pretty tight customer. I would be concerned.
Well, Obst wondering if Thomas has an overpair or perhaps a 6 in his hand. But there is the call.
See, when I play and someone raises the turn, they do have that 6.
Yeah.
Obst somehow knows his 10s are good and plays on.
Jack of clubs on the river connects with neither. Obst is best with 10s up, and he checks.
Thomas could bluff shove here, but he's not the bluff shove type of guy. I couldn't do it either, but it might work. Of course, it's easy for me to play with somebody else's chips.
For Thomas, it's probably all or none right here. He's got under 400,000 behind. He does check back. And Obst will win it with a pocket 10s.
Well, see, if you raise the turn, you've got to be willing to bet the river with vim and vigor. Not just vim, not just vigor, vim and vigor.
A good call from Obst on the turn, and the big stack gets bigger. Ryan Reese and Greg Raymer were supposed to make headlines at this table, but it's James Obst who's making the most news. Back inside the Amazon room, Gail Bowman and Jen Shahade at the same table, still hanging on at the 2016 main event. Average stack right now over $1,000,001, 55 big blinds. James Obst, the 25-year-old Aussie poker pro, is the top dog.
But I feel this is the year of the redhead. Jen Shahade, Melanie Weisner, John Turner, and Adam Friedman all might make the November 9.
Odds are in your favor. Valentine Bornaku, the second biggest stack at this table, behind Obst. Bornaku raises to 45,000 with King 6 suited.
By the way, this is the 11th consecutive year the main event field has exceeded 6,000 players.
Remind me what team Mitzel roots for? Dodgers, that's right, okay. Thomas folds. Over to Greg Raymer now in the big blind. He has a below average chip stack right now. Pocket fours. All in, 488,000.
Why so much, Greg?
Because he wants you to fold. He's got pocket fours and doesn't want to see a flop.
And you raised with King 6.
8.
Raymer will take it.
If I had 8 of spades, 8 of diamonds, I would show it.
You have 8 of clubs, 8 of whatever the other one is?
8 of spades, 8 of diamonds. I would show that, though, if I had it. And I would have played it exactly like that.
He probably remembers his winning hand in 04 better than I do.
That's a special, unique, individual hand. 8 of spades, 8 of diamonds.
What was the reward for busting the fossil again?
You get a 300 million-year-old trilobite.
I get that if I bust?
Yeah.
I should have known that. Should have told me that.
What are you, new? Earlier, we spoke to Greg about what it might take to win a second main event bracelet.
Well, you're always thinking about winning again. Just like if you haven't won, you're thinking about winning the first time. And when you know you're a good player, you're maybe not expecting it, because you know mathematically it probably won't happen. But anything can happen, and you just have to play your cards well and hope to not get unlucky. And if necessary, get lucky.
Greg in the small blind facing a raise and a call from 2 pocket pairs. Mark Missile with 4s called an under-the-gun raise from Rajan Chopra with a hand that's twice as good. 8s, that's how it works, right? 8s are twice as good as 4s? Raymer with the call.
On Raymer's final hand in 04, he had pocket 8s. David Williams had ace 4. The board ran out 4, deuce 5, deuce deuce. Raymer put Williams all in on the river, and Williams called with the inferior full house.
Reese folds. Been one of those days for him. 3 to the flop. Greg with the biggest stack. Here is the flop, and hello, ladies. Raymer comes up big with trip queens. He checks it.
Well, Chopra might need a personal injury attorney of his own if he continues down this road.
Yeah, he hates every molecule of that flop. It does bet 65,000.
Well, Mitzel would be wise to do what Dodger fans do in the 7th inning of most games.
Head to your car in the parking lot. He does indeed fold. And now Raymer, after the check.
That's a draw-heavy board, so I doubt Fossil Man will slow play this. He'd want to make a draw, pay the freight.
All in. How about paying all your chips to see it?
Chopra doesn't have a draw. He has a 7% hand. This is attorney versus attorney. In a more just world lawn, all their chips would simply be redistributed to the rest of the table at the end of the hand.
He would need all his chips to call this.
I think the amateur will see the light.
Yeah, a reluctant fold. Raymer wins it, though, after flopping trips.
Greg Raymer. Could this be his 3rd deep run at the main event?
Put him in a pot with just 2 napkins against amateurs, and he's got a chance. Flop him trips, and it's just unfair. Every pot helps. Greg Raymer a long way from a second championship bracelet, but it's the main event, and you just never know.
The best poker content on the internet.
Your super high rollerball 7 champion.
Oh yeah!
Wheels are coming off. That's the craziest hand I've ever seen. What was that bite?
Go to get.pokergo.com/YT24 for $20 off a new annual subscription.
As At one of those outer tables sits Cliff Josephy on the far right. With the board complete, Josephy's all in. Jason James on the far left can call or fold. James river to 7, Josephy flop, top pair. There's the call, and there's the double up for Cliff.
Big bet, sir.
King.
Why is he both hands? Why?
Because he's all in. Both hands must be shown on.
Oh, really?
All in.
Hopefully that wouldn't have swayed your decision. That's what I'm saying. No. Could have folded. 386.
386 total.
Cliff Josephy, 50-year-old, former stockbroker, one of the original internet legends.
Once the top online tournament player in the world, he doubles up to nearly 1.2 million. James down to 1.3 million. Let's swing back to the bright lights of one of our 3 featured tables. Seated here at this table is Daniel Cheater, real name, and it's always a pleasure to see Maria Ho, LA Poker Pro, with 2 million in live earnings. Maria with ace-king offsuit.
Maria Ho with 38 World Series cashes, still seeking her first bracelet.
But only 21 big blinds are raised to 45,000. Folded over to Cole Jackson with 2 black aces.
27-year-old Seattle Poker Pro, former blackjack dealer, 182nd at last year's main event.
With aces, you got to make it a little richer. And there is the re-raise to 110,000 from Jackson.
Raise to 110,000.
Well, Maria's only going to have one move here. She's down under 20 big blinds, and she's not going to like it when the cards are tabled.
Action back to Maria.
I'm all in.
Players moved all in?
Yep, all in and a quick call. Maria Ho all in with ace-king against 2 aces. Twice the last woman standing in the main event. She needs help now.
Yes, sir.
Amit, you got me right.
Maria knows it never hurts to work the dealer. Good vibe, but she's sitting on a loser for all her chips.
All right, now here is the flop. Cole Jackson trying to knock off the talented Maria Ho. And there's a king. Maria gets some help. 2 diamonds out there.
Some hope.
Let's do this, because I haven't won one of these in a long time.
Now for sure they.
Probably not even
now
like.
for sure they're.
I was rooting for a sweat, even if I'm.
I'll do even more, I guess.
3 of diamonds.
Makes it more exciting.
Let's do group vote, and then that's the card that has to come on the turn. Yeah.
Turn card now. Jack of clubs.
That's boring.
The percentages are from the player's perspective.
Pretty sure that.
There will be no diamond draw for Maria Ho. She'll need a king and a king only, or she is whamboozled.
And the river card is the king!
Wow. Wow.
Did you?
That's the most reaction you probably get out of me, but just wow.
It keeps Maria in the
I
game.
actually thought that was coming. You didn't need the 3 of diamonds.
Wow.
420 total.
I actually thought it's coming.
Did you really?
I really did. I'm sorry, man.
Here's the cold truth. If you wear a Seattle jersey at the main event, bad things are going to happen to you. So Cole Jackson has no one to blame but himself.
Wow.
That's all I like. Most people would probably be a little bit more celebratory, but
Well, wow's good enough.
that's my big show of emotion, guys. Hope you enjoyed it.
52-year-old Greg Raymer.
I got like pocket aces and clubs and the straight.
26-year-old Ryan Reese. 2 former main event champions with eyes on a second title.
One pretty boy and one recent main event win.
And then there's 59-year-old Johnny Chan. A 2-time main event champion pursuing a record-tying 3rd.
Well, you're always thinking about winning again.
I mean, a little bit.
We're not fighting to be the last champ standing. We're fighting to be the next champ standing.
Raymer, Reese, and Chan have plenty of company.
Wow, wow, wow.
Their story unfolds along with 278 others next. World Series of Poker main event continues its course towards a November 9. The field a shadow of itself when 6,737 started on day one. Hi everybody, Lon McCarran with Norman Chad and Kara Scott. Two familiar names clashing here on day four. One-drop champ Dan Coleman standing all in with aces, while Harvard professor and poker pro Brandon Adams is prepared to lose over half his stack with queens.
Coleman won $15 million from one drop. Adams just seems to be a winner in life just about every day.
If the chips didn't go on pre-flop, they go all in on that board.
Adams was 69th at the 2007 main event. This is Coleman's first main event cash.
Turn card is a deuce. Brandon Adams not a happy camper.
Now he's about to lose most of his stack here. Coleman needs to fade a queen to stick around.
The river card is a 4, making the shifting of power official Dan Coleman now with over 2.8 million.
Can't confirm it, but Brandon might have slept through that entire all-in. He recently resumed teaching at Harvard. I'm sure he mentions that every time he steps into a singles bar.
And there is a familiar sight, a huge pile of chips in front of Dan Coleman.
Yeah, boy!
Yeah, baby!
The rail beginning to grow here on day four as the stacks and stakes grow, the interest grows too.
Day four, always an important day. You grow or you go. Heck, I remember on day four of my second marriage, I bluff shoved and was out of the house by dinner.
3 main event champs still alive, including 2013 world champ Ryan Reese. The Beast has been card dead at the feature table, but as we've learned over the years, a couple of quick double-ups and you're right back in it.
Ryan wore a Detroit Lions jersey when he won the main event. I've forgiven him for that.
Maria Ho survived Ace-King versus Aces to keep her bracelet hunt going.
Good things happen to good people. Lon, how come nothing good ever happens to me?
Melanie Weisner graduated from NYU with a bachelor's degree in music. She has nearly 3 million chips.
Sophisticated and good at poker? I don't like it one bit.
Dad and new dad-to-be, Shaun Deeb, still here.
I believe Shaun had a baby just so he could tell him bad beat stories all day. Babies are great listeners.
Tough seat for Shaun to the direct right of chip leader James Obst, the 25-year-old Aussie approaching 4 million chips.
The leaderboard tells us that James Obst is on top, but as we hit the end of day four, just about halfway through the main event, the leaderboard doesn't tell the complete story. In fact, Norman, I know if it were up to you, you would just as soon throw the whole leaderboard out the window.
There are a lot of things I would throw out the window. Hoodies, sunglasses, earbuds, earphones, just in case earbuds didn't cover the entire category, tanking, tank tops, and chain-based coffee shops if I could find a big enough window.
You seem angry?
Angry? I'm thrilled. Can't you tell? Here's the thing about day four leaders and leaderboards. They change, and they change a lot. Sure, I'd rather be a super stack than a short stack, but there's plenty of time left. Well, not for Antonio Esfandiari. He busted early on day four. See you in October, Magic Man.
Are you just having one or?
Second.
Second?
You have one on the way?
Huh?
You have one on the way?
Coming in 2 months.
Congrats.
That's why I'm playing so tight, supporting the family.
Shaun must have had more bad beat stories to relay to his growing family. Here's the feature table layout. James Obst in great position.
All the chips, a lot of short stacks around him, and yellow glasses. This kid has it all.
The man who doesn't have it all is Reese the Beast, just 15 big blinds.
The kid loves his Detroit teams, so like them, he'll play from behind and hope to make it up later.
Blinds at 10 and 20,000 with a 3K ante. Reese, one of the short stacks, gives it up. Folded over to Valentine Vornaku, 33-year-old main event rookie with 8 circuit rings, though. 8-7 suited.
A vegan and Romanian, just like Daniel Negreanu, who loves this type of hand.
He now lives in San Diego. Just limps in for 20,000.
You usually just don't limp with that hand. Raise there, and you might rid yourself of one or both blinds.
Deeb, Jack-9 offsuit makes the call. And there is Obst, our chip leader, Queen 5 of diamonds. And he'll see it for free.
Playing about my favorite blinds.
Can't wait to play versus our random hands.
And here is the flop, and oh my, 7-8-6, 2 diamonds. Deeb with a 2-way straight draw. Obst open-ended with a flush draw. Vornaku a top 2 pair. Deeb bets 36,000.
And this marks the 7,239th time Shaun Deeb has bet with the worst hand during the Obama administration.
You have the best statisticians. Obst, open-ended, flush draw, just calls. He's the favorite at the moment, but it's Vornaku with the best made hand.
Valentine is single and says he can't get a match on Tinder. He should hang out with Brandon Adams. I'm sure he gets all the ladies.
They all commit 36,000. Turn card now. 8 of diamonds, wow! Valentine a huge favorite with a boat. Deeb and Obst with straight flush draws. Obst with a made flush.
What a flop, and now what a turn. There's an old poker saying, don't go broke in a limped pot, that I've never understood. Now I understand it.
You do, yeah. So Deeb at 36,000 on the flop, now 102,000.
That's 102,000 chips Shaun's unborn child will never see.
Now to Obst.
Well, Obst hamstrung here. He wants to raise, but wary of Vornaku behind him.
Stuck in the middle. James makes the call now to Vornaku with 8s full and a virtual hammerlock on this hand.
If Vornaku somehow just calls here, he might get a whole lot more chips on the river.
Well, Valentine now reaching for some of the new lavender chips worth 100K each, so this does not look like just a call, Norman. And there indeed is the raise to 382.
Well, there is a moment in almost every hand in which Shaun Deeb realizes he is in way over his head. This would be that moment. But there are a lot of chips in the middle, and he's got a straight flush draw.
But he's got Obst behind him as well, who also has a straight flush draw. And Deeb does give it up.
And for James Obst, it's a simple question. Valentine raises 2 players on that board, so a queen-high flush is only beating bluffs. Is this a bluff? If it's not a bluff, James Obst is pretty much drawing dead. He would need to make a straight flush to get the best hand.
We saw Deeb fold a straight flush draw. Obst does not seem so likely to do so here. It cost him 280,000 more. And those chips are going in the middle.
And here's the other problem. You make that call, what do you do when Valentine fires again on the river?
All right, heads up now to the river, and what a board it has been. The river, the deuce of hearts? Wow, after that board, we end up with a deuce of hearts. Obst checks. Valentine with the full house. Big stacks moving, 925,000.
Almost a pot-sized bet, big bet. Trying to disguise it as a bluff. And the same question for James. Is it a bluff? He'd have to pay about 30% of his remaining stack to find out.
Will this one make TV, you reckon? Like comment? Wow, it's gone mute, huh?
What happens when the big stack, sometimes you can afford to call even though you shouldn't.
Oh, big gulp.
All right, I'll call.
Obst with the crying call.
Thank God.
And he couldn't be more wrong. Valentine can breathe again.
God.
It's a little to say thank God when he called. I know, I understand.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's a big pot, but like, just. I know it's your reaction, but it's.
No, I mean.
I mean, we all understood.
No, you don't understand why I said that. I was trying to make it seem like I was super nervous, and I just couldn't do it anymore. That's why I'm sorry. I meant no disrespect. Like, no, I literally was just trying to. I was trying to pretend like I'm like super nervous about the hand. I'm like, the more you're tanking, I'm like.
He was trying to fake hyperventilating, and he almost did it to himself.
Yeah, right. No, I'm serious.
Whatever Valentine did, it worked. Big gulp, big pot. The first timer is sporting a huge stack. Welcome back to the Rio and day 4 of the main event. One storyline we continue to track is that of the former main event champ still in the field, among them a true giant, Johnny Chan.
I ran into Johnny on a break and said, would it kill you to make another main event final table? And he said, it's about time. It's about time.
Alex Keating caught our attention for 2 reasons, his beard and his table talk.
When they speak of wonders of the world, I believe Alex's beard is in the conversation.
Elsewhere, we have an all-in and call with pocket 4s. Jamie Chevelle looking to hold on and knock off a short stack Diego Ventura at risk with ace-9 of hearts.
Ventura, a Peruvian pro.
Just so you know, no matter what happens, he played this hand perfectly. Seat 1 played this hand perfectly. No matter what happens.
Chevelle, an LA business owner, 100th at the 2011 main event.
He's in the LED lighting world. Here's the flop, 5-7-7, 2 hearts. Chevelle still with the best made hand, but a lot of danger.
You're a dog.
Turn card 8 of spades, a straight draw, and more outs to Ventura.
You know you're a favorite.
He doesn't look like a favorite.
You know you're a favorite. Black deuce.
What a sweat. It's the 10 of spades. Chevelle fades half the deck to hold on.
That might be the most outs dodged in poker history.
No ace or anything else for Ventura. He wins almost 37 grand.
I'd like to see a study commissioned on players being nice only to players seated close to them at the table.
You are a dog on the turn.
Jared Blesnick giving Chevelle the lowdown on where he stood in that hand. Diego Ventura won 900 grand at last year's PCA main event.
Chevelle dodges about 137 outs, and he wants us to give a shout out to Grandpa Ben.
Grandpa Ben! Back to one of our featured tables, Maria Ho in action with queen. She re-raised after Rich Zhu shoved under the gun with ace-5 offsuit. The rest of the table folded, and Zhu is at risk.
Maria was almost out of here, but her all-in ace-king overcame Cole Jackson's pocket aces.
Zhu is an engineer and accomplished poker player and big promoter of the game in China. Here is the flop, Zhu at risk. King in the window with a deuce and 5. Zhu pairs his 5, but still behind.
I've played with Rich Zhu for 15 years at Hollywood Park in LA, and I had no idea this is his 55th World Series cash.
Wow, Maria with the queens are still good. She also picked up a flush draw.
I can't beat this guy, but Maria's about to. Zhu needs a 5 or a non-club ace, or he's out of here.
The river, another club. Maria Ho with the flush brings an end to Rich Zhu's main event.
Maria Ho's got 38 World Series cashes. My guy has 55.
As Maria stacks his chips, Zhu with his best main event finish, but he does have 7 World Series final tables to his credit.
See, he's looking around because I owe him money. Maria almost got her first bracelet this year. She finished 4th in the 3K No Limit Hold'em shootout.
Maria's one of the more recognizable faces in poker these days. Her path to success started when she was a kid.
Well, growing up, I was always kind of into strategy games, and my grandfather taught me bridge, and I really enjoyed it. And I was always really competitive, like hyper competitive. Even if we were just playing Monopoly, I would always want to like bet money on things that most kids probably aren't trying to risk money on. But yeah, I think I just have that personality that I think I'm hyper competitive, and I'm a little bit on the aggressive side, and I feel like all those things work really well for poker.
Well, off the table, she might trip old ladies and she might make babies cry, but at the table, Maria is a shining model of how to act.
From the big blind, she made a cheap call with a weak ace after London Fish and Chips restaurant chain owner Andrew Cristoforo opened for $45,000 with king-queen.
Who doesn't like some good fish and chips?
There's a queen. Queen's up for Cristoforo, all blanks for Maria.
Okay.
She checks, they both check.
That was a quick check behind.
Deuce of hearts changes nothing on the turn.
That was another quick check behind.
River card. Well, 2 pair for the amateur is good against Maria. Check.
55.
55.
And a bet finally.
Boy, he acts quickly. But he's just got me confounded with that check bet.
Maria looks confounded.
I'm confused slightly, just ever so slightly confused.
Why?
I don't know.
What's so confusing? Tell me from the start.
Now he sounds like a therapist.
I'm just unsure what you have, but I guess it's because I can't see your cards.
Probably. I don't think I played it that radically.
No, that's why I'm confused.
Well, I played it as it. If you pay, I'll show you. And then you'll say to me, okay, it's spot on. No, honestly, I didn't.
Just throw 10.
Huh?
Just throw 10.
It was a normal play. I was scared of you, I thought, because I was thinking, oh, did I really have to bet that river? She'll come over the top with a 4 or... in the end, I thought that was bad by me. I didn't have to do that. Listen, your Brad's gone, you got me now, right?
No, you play slightly different from Brad.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say you guys are similar.
Tomorrow, if we meet again tomorrow.
Well, the first-timer takes a pot from the seasoned pro, but perhaps there were a few more chips to be had.
Find Brad at the bar.
The 2016 edition of the main event well underway here in Las Vegas. 272 players left at the feature table. First-timer Valentine Vornicu with over 3 million chips. It's a nice summer break for the math teacher.
My name is Valentine Vornicu. I'm originally from Romania. I have a graduate degree in mathematics, algebra specifically. Math is amazing. It's a way of thinking. It transgresses all languages. Once you get deep into it, it's beautiful. Got like patterns, symmetries, logic. Everything combines together and makes great things. It's a universal language, that's what they call it. I teach math. I play poker on the side. I've been dabbling with the circuit for the past 4 years. I'm loving it. I ended up representing Romania, my country, twice at the International Olympiad. I got a bronze medal. Math does play an important role in poker. Somebody with a strong math and logical background, can dissect the hand, analyze, do all that stuff, problem solving, like, hey, what does he have? And that's what a math problem is. You got all this information, and then you have to do a logical process of reasoning. Poker is very similar in that regard, so, I use that knowledge.
Bluff, okay.
The fact that I've competed at the highest level in mathematics internationally, it really helped me just boost right in the game really quickly.
He wrote a book, a training manual, when he was 19 on how he prepared for the Math Olympiad. But it's in Romanian. And frankly, if it were in English, I still wouldn't understand it.
Vornicu with ace-king, that will boost your poker game. He's the chip leader at this table, a raise to 45,000. Deeb folds. Obst has slipped out of the chip lead. Ace-queen off.
James has overcome a lot of health problems. He developed an autoimmune condition of the GI tract. He's had surgery to remove his large intestine. He has diabetes, but he's feeling pretty good these days.
Other than calling with ace-queen. All right, a round 2. Mitzel, he folds. Big blind is Greg Raymer. Fossil in hand to give away to anybody if they knock him out. And he will fold. So heads up. Vornicu and Obst, 2 big aces. A queen in the window. Obst with top pair, and he plots his revenge. Check from Valentine.
James even has had issues with mercury toxicity, so he limits his exposure to Wi-Fi and to artificial light. He wears blue blocking glasses.
He's feeling a lot better these days, playing a lot of golf and tennis and poker. Oops, that's 65,000 after Valentine's check. Vornicu with ace-king calls.
Well, Valentine chose not to continuation bet, but he wants to see a turn.
Another tray. Obst still ahead. Vornicu checks again.
The last couple of years, James didn't think he could make hay at the main event because he wasn't feeling strong enough, but now, as you mentioned, he feels better, stronger, and capable of a deep run here.
And it does take a lot of grit to get yourself through this main event. Obst taking a little more time here with this decision. 125,000, slightly less than half the pot. Valentine with a check raise bluff to 275.
Well, the thing is, Obst does not like to fold. Plus, he has the best hand here, so it is not a good time for a bluff.
Obst undeterred by the paired board and the check raise. Does call 150 more. River card now. 10 of diamonds, so Obst is best with queens up. A third check from Vornicu.
Well, I guess Valentine decided to take a shot on the turn with that check raise, and now he is waving the Norman Chad School of Poker commissioned white flag.
Is that white flag issued as soon as you register for the class?
Oh, of course, along with your $75 credit line for sit and goes.
Undeterred by the paired board, inviting another check raise. There's a bet of $250.
Well, Obst with a value bet there, hoping Vorniku might call with a 5 in his hand or king-queen or a small pocket pair. Of course, Valentine doesn't have any of that. He just has ace-king.
Obst with a queen-high flush paid off Valentine a few hands ago. Will Valentine repay the favor here? There is the call. And James Obst, once again, the table chip leader here.
Yeah, after Valentine's turn raise was called, I'm surprised he check called the river. I'm beflummoxed.
So James gets back a big chunk of the chips he shipped to Vorniku just a short time ago. Over $3.2 million for James. Vorniku busted down to almost $2.5 million. Confused by that hand, Antonio Esfandiari and Phil Locke are back for another season of Pro Analysis.
Those two again?
Pro Analysis, and we're back with the great Phil Locke, ladies and gentlemen.
The one and only Antonio Esfandiari.
Phil, how is it that we keep making it back to the show? Certainly there are two more qualified poker players for the gig.
Well, they probably called the best, and they had the wrong number there. Instead of Daniel, they had your number, and then all of a sudden you took the call, and one thing that you said, can Phil join me, and that's how it happened?
Okay, that's enough. Let's get to the hand. Vorniku here calls with ace-high. Everybody at home watching is thinking, why is he calling with ace-high? Phil?
He's calling with ace-high because the pot has a little over $1 million, and it's only costing him $250. Well, if he's right more than 1 in 4 times, he's going to show a profit. And there are draws out there, so there's a reason to call. And also, keeping himself unexploitable in the future.
If your opponents see that you're calling with ace-high, they're less likely to bluff you further down the line. And you want that. You want people not to want to bluff you.
Yep.
You know, those fellows don't look like poker pros to me. They look like used waterbed salesmen.
After watching that hand, you all now know Valentine will call you down on the river with ace-high. We'll keep it here. James Obst, ace-jack, offsuit.
Dan.
James working again with a stack of over $3 million, a raise to 40,000. Tom Thomas with an ace and a 10 short stacked.
58-year-old, a business owner from New York. Down to 14 big blinds.
And they're all in the middle now, 286,000.
Well, right move, wrong time for Thomas, because when it gets back to Obst, it's an easy call for the big stack.
Raymer folds the big, back to the ace-jack and Obst.
I use that phrase all the time. Like sharing poker stories with family or whatever as I'm going
all in for 286.
Like a black goose comes on
Yep,
the river.
there is the call, and the New York 24-hour car wash owner looks to be washed up here in the main event.
Yeah, he doesn't like the look of it. Good call. This is the 3rd straight year Thomas has cashed in the main event.
Quite impressive indeed for the amateur. So Thomas all in for 286 and dominated by Obst ace-jack. Here is the flop. 9, 8, 10, top pair to take the lead for Thomas.
That's a TV flop right there. That's the TV flop. This one's making it.
What, you want a radio flop? We love TV flops.
Thomas ahead. Obst is open-ended.
I'm trying to think, like, is there a turn card that makes it even more exciting, but I can't think of one.
A club? A club.
Yeah. 7 clubs or like queen of clubs?
There's the club. Thomas with the better flush draw.
Takes away some outs.
Yeah, but gives some outs too. Actually, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Obst looking for a jack or a non-club queen or 7 to knock out Tom Thomas.
And the river card. King of diamonds, and Thomas doubles.
Oh my God, good move, good play.
The rail goes crazy.
You played that one great.
Amateurs are allowed to get lucky. Pros do.
A nice streak for the recreational player and business owner.
What a great play. What a great play.
30 big blinds feels a whole lot better than no big blinds.
You can't always get it in good, especially with the short stack. Tom Thomas escapes for the moment. Maria Ho, one of 5 women still in the main event field. At another outer table, we check in on Melanie Weisner. She's given up some of her stack today, but still sits with $2.2 million. Dan Coleman in good shape with nearly $3 million after a huge double up with his aces versus Brandon Adams' queens. And in a rare moment of quiet, a look at Will Kassouf sitting at $2.4 million.
I'm sure he's having a conversation in his head.
4 chips in play. As we saw earlier, the lavender chip has been added, worth $100,000 each. Kenny Hollart, 34-year-old Belgian poker tournament director. Queen Jack offsuit, raises to $55,000.
Hollart cashed in last year's main event and also final tabled the Colossus last year. That was a field of 22,000.
Yeah, he finished 115th in the main last year.
120.
Andrew Cristoforu, one of our first timers with ace-4 of clubs and a raise to $120,000.
Cristoforu decides Hollart is raising light and greets him with a 3-bet.
So the rest of the table folds. It's back now to Kenny Hollart.
Former electrician, and now he's the Jack Eiffel of Belgium. 22 World Series cashes to Hollart's name.
$1.3 million in live earnings. He knows the game from many perspectives. He knows how to re-raise. He makes it $290,000.
Wow, this is 2006 all over again. Let's 3, 4, 5, 6 bet with nothing. Happy days are here again, Lon.
Well, the amateur does not look so comfy now after Hollart put all those chips in the middle.
Well, how does Hollart come back over the top there? That's impressive. And now I think Cristoforu is looking over there for his 5-bet coach. Nowhere in sight. It's up to you alone, buddy.
Cristoforu was feeling pretty good about putting that 3-bet out there.
Okay.
And he does give it up. A strong move by Hollart will earn him the pot.
That weren't intentional, by the way. It really wasn't.
No, I didn't think anything of it.
No, it wasn't. It flew off a bit quicker than it.
Another great example of how poker is a game of skill. 95% of people lose that hand in Hollart's spot. Just fold it pre-flop.
$1.9 million for Kenny now. Cristoforu still in decent shape after his 3-bet and fold. Let's take a closer look now at Andrew, owner of a fish and chips restaurant chain in England. An interesting character who, when asked about his education, said, "My school was the one of life."
Although you imagine there's going to be fish and chip shops everywhere, they're quite of a poor standard. And people nowadays, they want to eat good. They don't want to eat bad. And they know bad food. There was a little gap for traditional fish and chips because although it's probably our national dish, if you like, for many years people were doing it wrong, very, very wrong, and using just poor product. So we just thought of a simple concept, the best product we can get, and then turn it out. And so far it's proven a success.
Back at this table, same 2 involved again. Cristoforu opened to $45,000 with pocket kings. Hollart with ace-10 off in the small blind. And he repops it again.
But this time, Cristoforu has the goods.
You see why I wanted to leave? Should have just walked. Right? I should have just walked. Now, what are the odds of this situation actually happening?
Oh, we're getting a little Hollywood by way of London.
Kenny sits comfortably with his actions. Andrew will try to do anything he can to extract more chips from the pro.
You got more chips than me. Oh well. Them lilac things, they're 100s, right?
Who knew a fish and chips monger had thespian
5,
training?
10. You got me blasted. Oh, I really wanted to win this.
It's not exactly Olivier as Hamlet, but I'm entertained.
Like it's not gonna happen.
Kenny's seen it all before.
I'll raise.
Yep.
Okay. What are you going to raise?
We're waiting.
All in.
Oh. $1.3 million.
All right, dinner theater is over, Lon. It's for more than 2/3 of the Belgian stack. And Carrot Top has a better chance of starring in the next Jason Bourne film than Hollart does of calling here.
Andrew busted out of the World Series millionaire maker with pocket kings when he ran into quad 5s, but not here.
You let me down.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think you have
All
a very
that
good
talk
time.
you have.
Yeah, you have a very, 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 very good time. Very good
I'm thinking
time.
he's a dream ending here. I might even...
Too much Hollywood. Very, 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 very good time.
It's not allowed?
Yeah, it's allowed, it's allowed.
It's a lot.
Maybe a little too much Hollywood from the restaurant owner, but Andrew Christoforou back over $1.5 million now. Day 4 of the main event beginning to wind down. Days 5, 6, and 7 next. Then our 3-day live final table, $8 million up top.
All in 258.
All in is announced. Mark Mitzel, the 58-year-old Fresno amateur, shove with pocket trays in the big blind. Ryan Reese with ace-king. He makes the call.
Reese with not much of a bigger stack than Mitzel. This is Ryan's 5th cash of this World Series, and he also cashed at last year's main event.
So Mitzel at risk, but as you mentioned, this is for almost all of Ryan's chips as well. Ace-king against the trays, which are at risk. Mitzel still good, though Reese does pick up a Broadway draw. It's never easy.
Mitzel is 2 for 2 and cashing at the main event. The 2013 champ picking up 4 more outs here.
Jack of spades is the good one. Jack of spades.
Turn card now. 7 of hearts. Mitzel survives another street.
Reese in for most of his chips. Mitzel in for all of his chips.
Ryan's dad, Frank, a close observer.
Reese needs an ace, king, or 10 to knock out Mitzel.
River card 6 of hearts. Mitzel doubles, and that will leave Ryan Reese with crumbs.
No, we call them Norman Chad chips.
After the payout, 4 big blinds is all that's left for the 2013 world champ. Mitzel with 27 bigs now.
Yes, some days you're the world champ, and some days you're sitting on 4 big blinds.
When I get that short, Norman, I count how many Andes I have to make me feel better, but either way, Ryan, you're on your own. You're short stacked. Mitzel with 553,000.
Trust me, you do not want to put a tough beat on the president of a concrete company.
Mitzel, a former motorcycle racer, before injuries sidetracked him. So the few chips that Ryan Reese has right now as he sits on the button.
The year he won day 5 was his best day, getting him to the November 9. But at the moment, it doesn't look like Ryan Reese will make it to day 5.
And his dad was so looking forward to coming back to Vegas in October. Action works its way around to Ryan. Raymer folds 9-7. Reese looks down at a king and a 10 offsuit.
Well, it's go time for the Spartan-clad 26-year-old.
You definitely didn't fold your weight.
Just the blinds behind him. He's all in.
I was there. Yeah. He bet 34 hands in a row.
Amateur Rajan Chabra with 7-6. He's a lawyer in Mississippi in the small blind. He folds.
It happens.
Vornicke.
What is it?
68 all in.
5 of diamonds.
Call.
Pocket 5s and a call. Ryan Reese at risk will have to overcome the small pocket pair.
Thank you.
So the current circuit grinder trying to knock out the former circuit grinder. 2nd straight race for Ryan. If he ends up losing both races, his main event marathon will be over.
Good luck, Ryan.
Thank you, buddy. I'll take
Here's
it.
the flop. And a set for Vornicke.
Or over the other way.
That will just about do it. Ryan can only chop the pot now.
And that puts an end to it. Reese drawing dead. The 2013 world champ knocked out of the 2016 main event.
Ryan Reese is always easy to root for. Plus, he probably doesn't need the 36K, so I can hit him up for a loan.
He's won over 600,000 since his main event win. In 2013, he outlasted 6,351 players to win the main event bracelet. This year, he outlasted 6,466 out in 271st. Not bad at all. Ryan Reese's great run in 2016 comes to an end. He's with Kara Scott right now.
We just lost Ryan Reese, 2013 champion. I spoke to your dad earlier on, and he said that you always go into every table really feeling like you can win it. Is that part of your success, do you think?
Yeah, I feel like it's really important to stay positive and always hope for the best and try to play your best. If you're coming in with negative thoughts, it probably won't end up too good. So I try to stay positive all the time.
Is there any sense of deja vu when you're running deep in this event again? I mean, we're obviously sad to see you go, but did it feel kind of similar?
Yeah, it definitely did. I got like 400 something last year, so I was kind of close, and I love this tournament. There's something special about it. I wish I could have done a little better, but I'll take it.
Thanks so much for talking. Just we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ryan says he still feels the magic in the air when he walks down the hall here at the Rio to the main event.
Brian Pacholi, the overall chip leader with 4 million. Some other stacks include Jerry Wong with 2.1 million.
Wong, a poker pro with 20 World Series cash.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Alex Keating with 2 million. His beard has the other 400,000. Kibitzing with the overall chip leader Pacholi right now.
I've never sweated 2 tables both on the turn before. Wow. Yeah. Isn't that's kind of a weird, fun observation. This is cool. What's going on at yours? The same as you. I got a
He is interesting. Gail Bowman's having a good day 4.
For 4 years, I've had this recurring nightmare that Gail Bowman finished on the November 9 bubble in 2012, a nightmare based on reality.
Yeah, last woman standing again.
Well, not there yet, sir. All right, let's go back to our featured table once again. Valentine Vornicu under the gun with 2.5 million chips in pocket kings.
40?
He made it 40,000 to go. Greg Raymer.
I swear Raymer's been dealt a 7 every hand since 2004.
That's a fold. I'm just getting clumsy picking
And the small blind Dan Healy, 30-year-old poker pro born in Michigan, appropriate since he took Ryan Reese's seat. He folds. In the big blind, Chopra, Queen 10 suited.
Chopra says he loves scuba diving with sharks. Actually, he might just mean he's scuba diving with lawyers.
He makes the call for 20,000 more. Queen 10 against the pocket kings. Chopra pairs his 10. Doesn't help much in his case against the kings.
I'll say this about Chopra. He seems like one of the few lawyers I can enjoy being with for 5 or 10 minutes.
He does check, even though he's got top pair. Vornicu bets 55,000.
Oh, this is a treacherous spot for top pair.
I'm all in.
Wow, Chopra dives in head first. And a quick call from the pocket kings. Vornicu has Chopra on the chopping block.
Immediate call, immediate despair for the 42-year-old Mississippi attorney. Vornicu more than a 3-to-1 favorite to send Chopra home.
Nice hand.
Vornicu looking for the knockout, looking for Chopra's almost 400,000 chips, 7 of spades, no help to Chopra.
By the way, if you wear a run-it-up sweatshirt, when you bust, you should have to take it off.
1 card left for Chopra.
Chopra looking for a queen or a 10.
The river card, another deuce, that wraps it up with a bow. It's Rajan Chopra being shipped out.
Nice hand, Brown. Good play, man. Definitely. Good playing with you. Definitely.
Bad beat to have just ordered the beer. Now it's to go.
Good run for the workman's comp lawyer. He'll take home 36 grand.
Nice to meet you. Nice to see you.
And the beer.
If any of you, if any of your clients need patent work done, you can try to look me up.
Greg does have plans to rejoin the legal landscape. Get his card, Roger. Welcome back inside the Amazon room, heading back over to one of our featured tables. Maria Ho in the #1 seed, hanging on with 720,000 chips. One of Maria's table mates, a 23-year-old Canadian with exactly 0 World Series earnings, but a name that will live in poker infamy.
My name's Daniel, I'm from Canada, and yes, my name is Cheater. Well, it's a good name for poker, I guess. I've heard every joke imaginable at this point. Yeah, it's a family name. Not sure what the origin is, but it's my real name. Cheater wins the World Series of Poker. I like the sound of that. Yeah, it's a good headline.
Better to be a cheater in poker than a hanging Chad in Florida.
Dan has king-queen offsuit. He's going to raise it up to 45,000.
Cheater sitting next to Sorel Mizzi. Huh, that's interesting.
Hollart folds. Action on the button. Cole Jackson, 27 from Seattle. He's a Mariners fan.
His second straight main event cash. He loves big fields. This is his 6th World Series cash in a field of more than 6,000. 2 main events, Colossus 2, the Millionaire Maker, the Monster Stack in this year's Crazy Eights event.
Guy knows how to play, and he is heads up with his ace-jack against the king-queen of Dan Cheater. Here is the flop. Queen, Jack, 9. Cheater with top pair and a gut shot. Jackson with middle pair.
Cheater with a political science degree from the University of Winnipeg. I believe they are the Blue Hens.
Cheater. Raised pre-flop, and he makes it 45 again here post-flop.
Jackson started playing poker when he got cut from the basketball team his sophomore year at Linfield College in McMinnville, Oregon. Coincidentally, I believe they are also the Blue Hens.
Amazing. He makes the call. Turn card now. Another jack turns the table, and it's Cole Jackson with the best of it now.
Quite a turn of events, huh, Lon?
Oh, a turn of events. Very nice. Jeter now checks the paired board.
Jackson was runner-up to Sam Greenwood in the 1K World Series No Limit Tournament last year. That event had only 1,915 entrants.
And now, with his trip jacks, Jackson fires 118,000.
Well, Cheater doesn't like the look of it, but he's going to have to lump it. He's got queens and jacks and a straight draw.
Really?
Dan putting a call together. Pot size approaching $500,000. River card now.
Yeah, I just saw him.
Is the queen, and both with a full house, but Cheater grabs the lead back.
Where did that card come from?
The deck?
I know that. Oh, why do you insist on always trying to put me on tilt during the broadcast?
Cheater now with queens full.
Well, when you have trouble handling chips, you either have a very big hand or you don't.
And that concludes another edition of Pro Analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Cheater bets 155,000 with queens full, while Jackson sits there with jacks full.
Well, Cheater bets just 1/3 of the pot, begging for a call, which I assume he's going to get. Jackson's thinking, I can't believe he would raise here or fold here. It just feels like a begrudging call. You can't raise with jacks full because maybe Cheater has a queen, maybe even pocket queens. Nothing else beats him.
Yeah, people are just
so much to get it done.
Yeah, people are always looking at their phones.
It's going to have to be a call from Jackson.
Cole Jackson. Wow. He's thinking about this a lot. And he gives up jacks full, Norman.
Wow. 2 headlines in this hand. 1, Cheater wins. 2, Jackson folds jacks full. What a laydown.
Wow, that was impressive. Dan Cheater with over 1 million chips now, but Cole Jackson impressed everyone. So as we take a look around the room, a big day for Austin, Texas's Alex Keating, 2.6 million. Should be good enough for a top 20 stack.
I wonder if he's got a bag and tag that beard.
Johnny Chan is still in the mix for main event bracelet number 3.
Johnny Chan bagging chips on day 4. I'm in main event heaven.
Maria Ho treading water just shy of 700,000.
Under the brightest lights on the biggest stage, it seems as if she shines almost every year.
As they bag and tag, one hand still in progress. Sasha Walter all in pre-flop with ace-king. Melanie Weisner, though, woke up with aces, over 2 million chips up for grabs.
Walter had 1 million chips a moment ago. They're all about to go to Melanie Weisner.
And indeed they do. Walter drawing dead. The 30-year-old German pro, though, does record his first ever World Series cash. The end-of-day payout is worth almost $37,000 to Walter. So 29-year-old Melanie Weisner cracking the 3 million chip mark, but it's Brian Pacholi who has the chip lead with over 4 million.
What did I tell you about leaderboards? Throw them out. They don't matter. They're as meaningless as a Kardashian wedding vow.
I hope it's chip lead. That would be cool.
Pretty cool indeed. Brian is atop the leaderboard. What am I supposed to do with the leaderboard, Norman?
Okay, why don't you just talk about how you always final table events that start with 12 players?
Pacholi in front, Weisner in 9th place after that huge final pot of the night.
It's a Midsummer Night's Evening. I've just, this is my peak of the day. I started with 1.1, got down to 700, chipped up pretty quickly on my new table to 2.3, got up to 2.6, and then kind of chipped down for the rest of the day to like just under 2. And then this last hand happened, the very last hand of the night, aces into, or his ace king into my aces, and it went my way.
Melanie Weisner is well on her way to raising the same bracelet Ryan Reese did 3 years ago. As for Ryan, a second title will have to wait.
Good luck, guys.
Reese's exit leaves just 2 former main event champions in the field, Greg Raymer and the legendary Johnny Chan.
If any of your clients need patent work done, you can try to look me up.
We'll follow their story on day 5 along with first-timers Valentine and Andrew Christoforou. For Norman Chad and Kara Scott, I'm Lon McCarran. Thanks for watching the World Series of Poker main event.